All right, guys. So, welcome to Let's Talk Television, episode 4 here. So, we'll be discussing a lot of stuff today. For today's episode, a lot of premiere dates, announcements this week. Just quite a lot of stuff. To be honest, this week. We got The Punisher, which we'll talk about here off the top. Stranger Things. We got some news about Vikings ending. Killing Eve. Batwoman on CW. I'm also gonna give my most anticipated TV shows of 2019. So a lot of stuff to talk about here. So thank you so much for those of you who are tuning in live right now. Really do appreciate it. If you want to, comment or discuss along with me here with any or all of this news in a live chat, please feel free. If you're tuning in afterwards, of course, leave a comment, and I'll definitely get back to you. If you leave a question, I'll definitely, spend some time answering it next episode as well. So, anyways, guys, let's get into the episode. So, I do want to just mention, though, there are a couple Walking Dead news topics that came out this week, but as I will do now in the future, we did an episode of Walker Talk yesterday, and so that show is devoted all to Walking Dead news, and so that means that there will not be, unless it's huge, there won't be any Walking Dead news on this show anymore, just because I don't see the purpose of talking about it twice, you know what I mean, repeating myself over and over again. So that is kind of what's going to happen going forward. But anyways, so let's get into this news here. So like I said, we'll start off with The Punisher Season 2 release date that's been announced here for 2019. It's coming up pretty soon. So anyways, just going to check here on all the stuff here. Everything is looking pretty good. Okay, yeah. Okay, everything's looking good. So, all right, let's get into The Punisher. So, just to start off with, I haven't seen season 1. I haven't seen the entire thing. So, take it with a grain of salt. I'm not going to be, diving into theories and all that stuff. But definitely a lot to talk about here with The Punisher season 2 release date getting revealed by Netflix. And so this article I'm going to be reading from is from comicbook.com. Great article here if you want to tons of articles out there, of course, right now. But comicbook.com, really great one here. This is, it's pretty big news, but it's also kind of disappointing news because I think all of us are kind of looking ahead to the future instead of maybe just being kind of living in the moment and excited for season 2, right? And, with all the cancellations, with Daredevil especially, just in the last little bit, with all the Marvel Netflix shows, the future for The Punisher is not looking so great, to say the least. So, anyways, there you go. So, let's get into it here. All right. So Netflix has now revealed the premiere date for Marvel's The Punisher Season 2. Netflix's Twitter account tweeted out a list of release dates for new content coming to the streaming service in January. It includes Marvel's The Punisher Season 2 on January 18th. So January 18th it'll be coming out. So that means 13 days from now. We're already at January 5th. That's crazy. Like, we're already 5 days into this new year, which is insane. But anyway, so that's about 13 days away then. It's January 18th, obviously on the Friday, so not this Friday, but the next Friday. Already, we are getting The Punisher, so that's pretty awesome there. The first season of The Punisher was about Frank Castle returning to his role as judge, jury, and executioner to deal with the conspiracy that led to the death of his family. Showrunner Steve Lightfoot says the second season will be about Frank fully embracing the persona of the Punisher. And then some other details here. Season 2's villain has been described as alt-right, among other things. And then, quote, on the exterior, John Pilgrim, which is the villain's name, is a man who is a Christian fundamentalist who had a rage, a violent side of him, said Josh Stewart, the actor who's going to be playing Pilgrim. And he says it's buried deep. I think where this is all headed, that sort of side of him is going to resurface a bit. So that's a little bit more on the villain. Then The Punisher is one of the only 2 Marvel series left standing at Netflix, as we all know. Daredevil, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist have all been canceled. The 3rd season of Jessica Jones still remains to be released, but many Marvel fans feel the writing is on the wall for both Frank Castle and Jessica Jones. So, obviously, that last part is probably in all of our minds, right? Of course, we're excited for The Punisher Season 2. There are a lot of fans who are excited for Punisher Season 2, but is it going to be the last season, right? And that's a lot of people are asking that. And my prediction is yes. I think Jessica Jones and The Punisher will both be done, after their seasons air this year. And it's unfortunate because I'm a huge fan of Jon Bernthal. I thought the show was great for him. He finally, kind of got to lead a series, and he definitely deserves that. I mean, love him in The Walking Dead, huge Walking Dead fan. So, of course, always going to support him in everything he's in. I loved him in Mob City as well. I feel like that's a little bit of an underrated show. It only got 6 episodes, but I did really like him in that. I thought he was great in that. And he's really great. I mean, he commits to roles, right? That's the kind of actor he is. And to have him in something like this, superhero shows and movies don't always get the best reputation for having the best actors and all that stuff. I'm sure some people would beg to differ, but I think the majority of people kind of see it that way. But The Punisher is definitely not one of those. Jon Bernthal is fantastic. So, anyways, a little bit unfortunate for him, but that's just the way things are trending. So, January 18th will be season 2. And another thing to talk about here, too, is do they, end the series, right? Because I think, a lot of people think it's going to be the last season, including me, right? And so does that mean then that the showrunners and, the writers were able to kind of put together a season 2 finale that could also maybe function as a series finale if Netflix, does go through with canceling it after this season? And that's going to be rough if they don't, right? And it's interesting because, thinking about all this with Daredevil getting canceled, they already probably did, production probably already finished before Daredevil got canceled on The Punisher, right? So, it's tough for them to kind of predict this situation. And for that reason, I have a feeling that they wrote this one without knowing that it might be the series finale instead of just the season finale. So, it will be very unfortunate for a lot of fans if we do see kind of a loosely ended, season finale and then everyone's left on a cliffhanger because Netflix cancels it, which is kind of what happened with Daredevil, right? And so I think that could be a possibility, and that would just be unfortunate. So, of course, tons of talk about him, Frank Castle, the character, the Punisher, moving over to Disney+. I think Daredevil, at least for Daredevil, it's been confirmed that there will not be, the show is just not going to continue, right, on Disney+. We might see that character in other projects and other, mediums, but we won't see, a Daredevil season 4, right? We're probably never going to see that. And so for that reason, I'm not sure if we'll ever see a Punisher season 3, for example. But will we see Jon Bernthal's character and other stuff? I'm sure we will, right? I'm sure we will. I think, eventually, not sure how exactly that all works. I'm not, not all in with this, comic book stuff and that type of it. But maybe, according to the comics, it would make sense for him to appear in a different story that Disney Plus is doing. Swamp Thing, of course, is coming out. I think that's kind of one of the biggest ones on Disney Plus right now, and Mandalorian, I guess. But anyways, so we'll have to see, how the Punisher then goes into their future plans, especially then if he's canceled, if the show is canceled on Netflix. So, anyways, so season 2, kind of bittersweet here, comes out January 18th. But we'll have to see if it's the last season. Jessica Jones, I don't think it really has any future at all on Netflix. Maybe I'm, kind of, upsetting some fans of the show. But to be honest, I think The Punisher has the best chance out of these 2 remaining ones. And I think Jessica Jones definitely done. And the fact that we haven't heard kind of a release date or even much about Jessica Jones season 3 yet is another reason to kind of, get weary about it. Because I figured, The Punisher, Jessica Jones will probably release the dates at the same time. And, kind of have this victory lap for Marvel on Netflix. But no details have still been released about Jessica Jones, as the article has said. So, I don't know. I don't think they have a future. But if anything does, I think The Punisher does. But we'll have to see. I would definitely bet on it getting canceled after season 2. Again, which is unfortunate. But, It's kind of where it's going right now for Netflix. And Netflix is all about originals, right? All their own properties, and they want to own all the rights to everything. That's another reason why American Vandal got canceled, which I loved as well. So, Netflix upsetting some fans here for sure. And it looks like this probably will be the end of their Marvel Netflix little universe here that they had with, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Daredevil, The Punisher, and Jessica Jones. So, anyways, love to hear your thoughts on that one. What do you think of season 2? Is it a bittersweet that we get a release date early in 2019, and then it's just going to get canceled, or do you think there's actually some hope? Do you have some hope for a season 3 of The Punisher, depending on, of course, how season 2 does? So yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on that one. All right, so that'll just about do then for the spotlight for this episode. Let's move on to Stranger Things Season 3, which this was big news too this week. Of course, we already got a little bit of a trailer teaser for Stranger Things Season 3, and so this is kind of a follow-up, I guess, a little bit, kind of ringing in the new year, right? They really use that well. Netflix has done that well. I mean, that's something that you got to give them credit for. They've been good with Christmas. Around Christmas time, they put out, Christmas-themed advertisements and teasers for some of their shows. And New Year's, they did just that with Stranger Things with this one. So anyways, Netflix announces Stranger Things Season 3 premiere date, and this one is from Deadline Hollywood. So really great article here, and of course, a lot of stuff coming out with this one. So here we go. There are going to be plenty of fireworks for the 3rd season of Stranger Things. The popular nostalgia-drenched Netflix series is set to premiere on Independence Day, July 4th, 2019. And they made the announcement through an appropriate and creepy, of course, New Year's Eve countdown video from 1985. True to the Stranger Things brand, the video is filled with VHS tape tracking lines and warped audio. It is footage of the final moments of Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve as we watch the Big Apple drop to ring in 1985. However, it wouldn't be Stranger Things, right? It wouldn't be Stranger Things without something strange happening. As the countdown begins, the video is interrupted with DOS-based technological glitches before creepily ending on off-the-air color bars before announcing the premiere date. So a lot of work, went into this, and a lot of thoughtfulness went into this little teaser, right? So this now marks the 2nd teaser for Season 3. Earlier in December, Netflix released a separate teaser trailer that revealed the titles of the episodes for the forthcoming season. So those were all 8 episode titles there. Netflix also released a new poster for Stranger Things Season 3, which features the caption, "One summer can change everything," which confirms that Season 3 will be taking place in the summer of 1985. So really awesome stuff here. Quickly, I'll show you guys the picture that Netflix released then for Stranger Things Season 3. And there you go. So, of course, they have the date on there, July 4th. Stranger Things Season 3, One Summer Can Change Everything. Awesome poster there. You got Eleven and Will holding hands. And Eleven's kind of looking back at us as we see this, monster, really creepy kind of figure here in the forefront there of the picture, with the 2 legs coming down. So, really great stuff. And they're watching the fireworks, of course, on July 4th. So, really great, themed advertising here, and that, that's just an awesome picture, man. It looks really great. So, anyways, there you go. So that's Stranger Things Season 3 little poster that Netflix put out, along with this little teaser video for New Year's, right, counted down. So, anyways, July 4th, it will be coming out, which I think a lot of people maybe expected it closer to the springtime, but it does end up that it'll be coming out in the summer. So, you know what that means? Probably most people will be done watching it July 5th, on Netflix. 8 episodes this season. And of course, this season was delayed, right? It was delayed a bit. And so they could put in more work to this season and really, get the best that they could out of it. And so I think a lot of people are going in with pretty high expectations to Season 3 here. And so we'll have to see, if those expectations are met, and how well Netflix really does then with this one. But, anyways, really great stuff here. So, July 4th will be the date Stranger Things comes out. A little bit interesting. I mean, releasing it on that holiday, typically you don't see this stuff. I mean, there's not a lot of TV shows, not a lot of Netflix shows that premiere on a Christmas or, a New Year's. You wouldn't really see that. And so it's interesting that they've decided to put this one on a holiday. That's maybe another thing to talk about there. So, anyways, really interesting stuff here. Stranger Things Season 3 coming July 4th to Netflix, of course. That'll probably be a Friday at about 3 a.m. Eastern or, so Friday, kind of 12 a.m. on Friday, Western time. And I think that's kind of how Netflix operates on the Western time. So that's why they do it at 12. But anyways, really great stuff here. The teaser looks really awesome, right? Classic Stranger Things. The poster that I showed also looks really great. Stranger Things, remains to be probably... I mean, I guess it's arguable, but I think it's maybe the best Netflix original out there now. Kind of their flagship, main one that started everything, House of Cards, is now done. And Stranger Things still remains, and I think it's probably the best or the most prominent Netflix original on right now. Maybe some of the animated series maybe top it in terms of actual popularity and audience retention and stuff, but Stranger Things, I think, is still one of their biggest, if not the biggest, kind of Netflix original out there. I mean, I think everyone has kind of heard of it, and it's got a really, really big fandom. So Netflix, they got something great here, and I'm guessing that they're going to keep it going for a while here. But anyway, so Season 3, a little bit delayed here, but they are coming back July 4th. So let me know what your guys' thoughts are of this one. Are you excited for Season 3? What are you expecting? What do you think of this teaser here? And what do you think about the date as well, July 4th, coming back this year? So I'm sure I'll be talking about most anticipated shows 2019 a little bit later. It's not on my list, but I'm sure a lot of people will have it on their list for sure. All right. So anyways, let's move on then to the next topic here, the next news topic here, and that is the CW orders Batwoman pilot. So this article is from The Wrap, and this news, I think, is something that a lot of people, especially after Elseworlds, the crossover, right, a lot of people were expecting. This isn't a huge surprise, and we already knew that it was kind of in development, but this is kind of the next stage, right, in ordering a pilot for it, which means they do have quite a bit of development done, right? They have an idea for it, and the CW is kind of greenlit them to go ahead, write a pilot, film it, produce it, right? And then probably, which will lead to ordering the series for it. So anyways, let's see what The Wrap has to say here. So the CW latest DC Comics inspired project is now moving forward. Following her debut in the network's Elseworlds crossover, the CW has ordered a pilot for its Batwoman standalone series starring Ruby Rose. The pilot will be directed by Arrow and The Flash alum David Nutter. And so here's the official logline for the project. So here it is. Quote, armed with a passion for social justice and a flair for speaking her mind, Kate Kane, played by Ruby Rose, soars onto the streets of Gotham as Batwoman, an out lesbian and highly trained street fighter primed to snuff out the failing city's criminal resurgence. But don't call her a hero yet. In a city desperate for a savior, Kate must overcome her own demons before embracing the call to be Gotham's symbol of hope. Ruby Rose made her debut during the second episode of the network's annual 3-night crossover between Arrow, The Flash, and Supergirl. In introducing Rose's Kate Kane / Batwoman, the episode laid a bit of the groundwork for what the solo TV show would look like. So, right, if you watch Elseworlds, it kind of, I mean, you could even argue it maybe was a backdoor pilot even, right, to what we could see in Batwoman. And so that was a great way to do that as well. And so then a quote from Caroline Dries, who is penning Batwoman, and she said this in a Q&A session last month. She says, our goal was trying to create setups, story-wise, where we could meet her, kind of be intrigued by her, and introduce Gotham a little bit. So obviously, this was the plan, right? This was a plan all along to introduce her here in the crossover event here that CW has, which I want to talk about that in just a few seconds here, but a few moments. But anyways, so that was the plan, right? That was the plan all along. You have Batwoman come in this crossover event. You kind of, like I said, give her a little bit of a backdoor pilot even, right? And kind of see especially, you know, kind of get the audience, right? And see their reaction to it, and see if this is something that more people would be interested in, and in the expanding here of the CW kind of superhero universe, right? And so I think that, yeah, I think it was the plan all along. It was already in development, I believe, as the crossover was happening, or at least that's around when we got the announcement. And so now they've kind of gone the next step, and they've ordered the pilot. So, really great stuff here, I think, for all the DC superhero universe fans. Let's just talk about that universe that CW is putting together here. I mean, that speaks volumes. I mean, for a network, you know, for a network television thing, you know, so you got CW, NBC, CBS, Fox, and I said the CW first. So CW, CBS, Fox, NBC, ABC. No other network channel has a universe quite like this. And the CW has really prided themselves on things like Riverdale, The 100, which I love. Or, well, I haven't loved it all the way through, but the last season really got me into it again. You know, they pride themselves on shows like that Vampire Diaries, the originals, now Legacies. But a lot of people, I mean, are really interested in this superhero universe that they have going on right now. And so to expand it even further with a Batwoman, you know, pilot here, which will, you know, inevitably probably get ordered to a series. It'll probably be a series. And to, you know, keep expanding it, they already have, I believe it's, is it 5 or 6? So you have Flash, Arrow, Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow, Black Lightning. Is there one other one I'm missing? But anyways, a really great thing that the CW is doing here with this kind of DC superhero universe. And, you know, they haven't really got to Batman until this crossover really stuff, and a lot of stuff about mentioning him. And then, of course, in with, you know, bringing in Batwoman. So, anyways, I think this is, you know, this is great. The pilot, obviously, will be interesting to see, right? Hopefully it will be good. But honestly, I think either way, I think CW orders it, the series. The way, the success that they've had with this universe, I think they'd be foolish not to, right? Not to take an opportunity to expand this this universe with such a great character in Batwoman, that I think a lot of audiences are really, you know, happy to see, and kind of looking forward to see this character, especially after what they did with her in Elseworlds, the crossover event. So, anyways, love to hear your guys' thought on this one. I'm not caught up with any of the, you know, the big superhero universe shows on the CW, but of course, definitely heard a lot about it during the Elseworlds stuff. But let me know if you're all caught up with everything, and you saw this crossover event. I know a lot of people watched it, you know, even if they weren't caught up. Let me know what you think of Batwoman, and what do you think about this pilot? What do you think about probably the inevitable series that will spawn from it? And really great. But these crossover events is amazing. And, I mean, you know, just if that was the sole purpose of having this universe, you know, that would be a great idea, right? Because these events have gone the CW a lot of attention, a lot of buzz, a lot of viewership, the ratings. So, I mean, these crossover events like Elseworlds, you know, I think, you know, and obviously they already announced Crisis on Earth X, I believe, for next year. So they're already planning that one. Like, the CW's doing some great stuff with this superhero stuff. And, like I said, they still have shows like Riverdale, The 100, you know, Legacies now. So, you know, they're doing some great stuff here. And a lot of audiences are, you know, loving the content, right? And that's what it's all about at the end of the day. So, anyways, let me know what you think of this one. Batwoman pilot being greenlit, and of course we'll have to see. David Nutter, alum from Arrow and Flash, he'll be directing it, and then it sounds like Caroline Dries, will be writing the pilot, or at least, you know, some of the episodes. Obviously, probably not all of them. But anyways, guys, again, let me know what you think of that one. And what do you think of the Elseworlds crossover event? I know a lot of people have thoughts on that one. So, all right. So, let's move on to then the next topic here. Love to hear your thoughts on that last one, and this one too. I mean, you know, Killing Eve. So let's talk about Killing Eve. All right. So, earlier this week, I believe it was Wednesday or Thursday, Killing Eve, the Season 2 premiere date, was released by BBC America. BBC America's Killing Eve was such a success. I mean, I think it was a little bit of a surprise to a lot of people too, maybe into BBC America. The success it had, the critical acclaim, the fan reaction to it, just insane stuff here, and definitely probably the most prominent BBC America drama now for them. So crazy stuff here, and going into season 2, I think a lot of people are excited. So here we go. This article is from BBC America themselves, so interesting. But anyways, so Killing Eve will return for its highly anticipated second season on Sunday, April 7th at 8 p.m. So that's an important date, Sunday, April 7th at 8 p.m. Sandra Oh and Jodie Comer reprised their critically acclaimed performances as Eve, an MI6 operative, and psychopath assassin Villanelle, played by Jodie Comer, in this story of two women bound by a mutual obsession and one brutal act. Beginning just after the end of the final episode of season 1, Villanelle has disappeared and Eve is left reeling, having no idea if the woman she stabbed is alive or dead. Wow. Kind of getting into spoilers territory there, I guess. But with both of them in deep trouble, Eve has to find Villanelle before someone else does. But unfortunately, she's not the only person looking for her. And so then we get a quote from Sarah Barnett, who's the president of AMC Entertainment Networks, who I guess is producing this one. Killing Eve is picking up exactly 36 heart-thumping seconds after the events of the season finale, said Sarah Barnett. This new season is packed with superlative performances and is as twisty, subversive, darkly funny, nerve-wracking, and pleasurable as our fans could desire, end quote. So, great quote there from Sarah Barnett. So, anyways, a lot of stuff going into season 2 of Killing Eve. I have not seen season 1. I do really want to see it because huge attention at the Emmys, especially Sandra Oh. Tons of attention. She got nominated for lead actress in a drama. So, I mean, this show has just got a lot of critical acclaim. And honestly, if season 2 kind of matches the level that season 1 was at, this show might be the next big thing, honestly. I mean, and like I said, I mean, it's something to have the critical acclaim for a show, okay. But it's another thing to have the type of fan reaction to this show as well. And to have both of those coming in after the first season. I mean, a lot of shows, season 1s, I mean, you look back to Breaking Bad, a lot of people think it's best show on television, including myself, and season 1 was, not a lot of people were into it, or at least not as much people as season 5, right? And to see season 1's success of this show is insane. So honestly, I believe that this might be the next big show on TV. Game of Thrones is ending. So, the throne is kind of open, no pun intended. That was bad. Anyways, the throne is kind of open, though, for the next kind of big show on TV that everyone's talking about. Handmaid's Tale maybe will rival it. But yeah, with Game of Thrones ending, I mean, there's an opening here. And Killing Eve, I believe it might take that opening in the next couple of years here with their season. So season 2 is going to be something big, and if they come out with another great season like season 1, we'll have to see what that is. But again, I mean, okay, let's take it. I just said all that, but let's take it in that it is on BBC America. The ratings and viewership is not going to be crazy. But for season 2, we might see the ratings, skyrocket, especially after all this critical acclaim and buzz that they got in 2018. And so we'll have to see. But anyways, I really want to watch season 1, get caught up, and then watch season 2, April 7th. And I think a lot of people are going to be doing that as well, or if they haven't already, right? So great stuff. Sandro is also hosting the Golden Globes along with Andy Samberg tomorrow night. Looking forward to those. But yeah, so I'll have to see her as a host there for the Golden Globes, which will be interesting. I love the selection of the hosts, to be honest, with Sandro and Andy Samberg. I feel like they're going to play off each other really great. Andy Samberg's really just kind of a dry humor guy, and Sandro is a little bit of the opposite, to me at least. So it'll be kind of cool to see the two of them, work together and host this award show tomorrow night. But anyways, so Killing Eve Season 2 coming back April 7th on BBC America. I have to say, I don't even know how to watch this. I think it's on, is it on Netflix? It might be. I think it might be on Netflix. But anyways, it probably will be for any foreign markets out there, foreign Netflix, like UK or anything like that. It'll probably be on there. But I'm not sure about the American Netflix. I'm not sure if it's on there. Anyways, I'm definitely going to be trying to keep to catch up for April 7th. So anyways, guys, let me know if you watched Season 1. What do you think of it? And what are you expecting then going into Season 2 of Killing Eve? So, anyways, guys. All right, let's move on then to one of the last topics today. We're going through this pretty fast. But, yeah, anyways. Going pretty fast. Yeah, all right. A lot of news, though. A lot of news this week, for sure. So, anyways, let's get on to this last one here. A little bit of a long one. And it is Vikings to end after season 6 on History Channel. So this starts from Deadline, Hollywood. Some interesting news here. So a little bit of maybe excitement. I mean, a lot of Vikings fans maybe are excited that it's ending, to be honest. It's, some people on the outside excited that it's ending, but also some excitement then, some people are disappointed, but then also some excitement for a spin-off possibility spawning from this news as well. So here we go. Deadline says, History's flagship scripted series Vikings will be ending its run after the upcoming 20-episode 6th season. I still can't believe they do 20 episodes a season. Crazy stuff. As the hit drama is wrapping, Vikings creator Michael Hurst and studio MGM Television are looking to extend the Vikings franchise with a new series. I've learned that the network is in talks with MGM and Hearst about a new series from the same creative team as the original series, which would continue the Vikings saga. So, of course, that's the writer there. If the project, which is in early stages, moves forward, Hearst will be joined by feature writer Jeb Stewart from Die Hard and The Fugitive. He's great. Vikings which will end its run after a total of 89 episodes. Crazy stuff. 89 episodes. It's currently halfway through airing the back 10 episodes of its 20-episode 5th season, with the finale slated for January 30th. So it's just going to, finish up this month. The series recently wrapped production on the final 6th season, which is expected to debut later this year, with the last episode likely tracking to air in 2020. So probably around the same time that season 5 is ending, only next year. Created and executive produced by Hearst, who has written every episode. This really got to me, but anyways, how has he written every episode? He's written 89 episodes, you're telling me? What other drama series every episode is written by one writer? I can't believe that. I don't know. I mean, I haven't really looked into that much. I don't know why Deadline would lie. Or exaggerate here, but that's crazy if that's true, that he's written every single episode. Man, that's crazy. Vikings has been a legacy show for History, no question, right? And marked the network's first foray into ongoing scripted series. Vikings was a breakout ratings hit when it debuted in 2013 and remains History's #1 scripted series of all time. Then this is some interesting stuff here. History has been beefing up its scripted roster over the last couple of years. Its next scripted drama, Project Blue Book, from Robert Zemeckis and A&E Studios, premieres January 8th. Project Blue Book looks good. I'm just gonna say, what's Sean McDonough? I think is his. Yeah, Sean McDonough. He's in it. Really love him from everything. I mean, Suits. He's gonna be in. What did I just see that he was gonna be? Yellowstone season 2. He's great in pretty much everything he's in. I mean, he's really great. Neil McDonough. So he's in Project Blue Book from Robert Zemeckis. Just had Welcome to Marwen, I believe, right? I think he wrote that one. So that one's going to be interesting. But anyways, back to Vikings. So crazy stuff here, right? I mean, they're ending off with season 6. But it's interesting that Deadline kind of says all these things at the end, right? They say #1 scripted series of all time, huge ratings hit. So, it's interesting to hear that History Channel is canceling it after it's been their flagship series for all these years since 2013, right? I mean, it's been, 6, it'll be 7 years when it's finished. That Vikings has been a great series for them. So it is interesting that they've decided to cancel it now. But anyways, well, not necessarily cancel it. I think it, to end is what the wording is. So you know, maybe it's something that Hearst and, you know, History kind of agreed on that they would end it. But anyway, so of course the main character, right, the main actor, the lead actor, you know, was left in season 4 of Vikings, and that was big news then. And now they still went on with another 2 more seasons after that, which is something that The Walking Dead and fans of that show like me can attest to now with Andrew Lincoln leaving. So, you know, good on them that they've actually even just survived season 4 and that main cast member leaving, and now they went on for the next 2 seasons. A lot of people, though, or at least the reaction that I saw to this news was a lot of people were kind of just, you know, they either didn't care or they were happy that it was just over, because ever since season 4, it just hasn't been as good. And so maybe that's also why History Channel's canceling it. You know, they're just not getting the same fan reaction to this show anymore, and that's just what it is, right? You know, at the end of the day, I mean, they can have the best relationship with the showrunner, and I'm sure Hearst and History Channel do. You know, let me tell you, they probably do. But you know, it just if you don't have the fan reaction, you don't have the viewership, you don't have the ratings anymore. That's what's going to happen. The show is going to end. And that's, I think, what has happened here. So, of course, I'm not caught up with Vikings. I haven't seen it, but, you know, just some, you know, great news. And I remember around season 4, all that talk about that, I can't remember his name off the top of my head now. I never knew it before the news anyways. Yeah, I can't remember. But anyways, when he left, that was kind of big news. Got a lot of attention from a lot of people, and so yeah, so anyways, but a great kind of potential here for another series, right? That's a big part of this too, that Hearst is already kind of in talks, it says, with MGM Television about a new series, right, from the same team from Vikings, which would kind of continue in a spin-off type of story from the original series, right? And I think that makes sense, right? I mean, that makes sense for Vikings to do this well for History Channel, right? And like I said, they probably have a pretty good relationship, Hearst, the showrunner, and History, and, you know, and MGM. Why not come back with a spin-off series, right? I think there's obviously still that fan support. You could still get the fans back from season 4 who abandoned the show to come back now, right? Because they did like up until season 4, and I think a lot of fans dropped off. And so I think you can still get those fans back for another spin-off series. And so I think that'd be the right, you know, the right decision here. And it looks like that is kind of what's, you know, progressing here. So anyways, they just finished production on season 6, so it looks like kind of Hearst is open now. You know, after writing every single episode. Crazy. I still can't believe that. But anyways, yeah, Michael Hearst, and it does say that it'll be pairing with Jeb Stewart to do this spin-off series if it does happen. So, man, that would be crazy, crazy good. So, you know, we saw some kind of similar, I guess, Sons of Anarchy, and then we saw Mayans this year happening. Maybe something similar to what's going on here. And Mayans got some great reception as well. And so, yeah, I think it's really great to see, you know, these, well, I mean, you can even use Better Call Saul as an example too, right? With Breaking Bad. So anyways, a lot of spinoffs happening, a lot of kind of universe building for a lot of places. We just talked about, CW universe there. And, you know, I think this is something that History Channel should definitely be open to doing. And it's great to hear that Michael Hearst is, I mean, after 7 years, he's still interested in some of these characters in this kind of world that he's built here. And that's something great that to hear too. So anyways, if you're a fan of Vikings, if you're still watching the show, what do you think of this one? I know season 5's wrapping up, as it says, January 30th. So just at the end of this month, season 5's coming to an end. And then season 6, we'll finish up then probably around this time next year in 2020. You know, hard to think about that far ahead right now, but you know, that's kind of what it is. So anyways, also really looking forward to Project Blue Book on History Channel. I'll probably be doing a review over on my review channel for that one as well. That one looks great from Robert Zemeckis. Of course, he's Forrest Gump, right? I think, yeah, he's the writer of Forrest Gump. So it's going to be interesting, though. It doesn't sound like something that he would, you know, that's something he would do. You know, it just doesn't, like, science fiction doesn't kind of fit with Forrest Gump, right? When you think of those two as kind of polar opposites, or at least for me, I don't know, maybe I'm totally off base with that one, but, Well, yeah, and Welcome to Tomorrow. I don't know, maybe something similar, maybe. And obviously he's a dynamic writer. He can write anything, right? So, anyways, excited for that one as well. So, let me know what you think of this news here with Vikings season 6. Will be the last one on History Channel, but probably a spin-off series will be coming to that as well. And then, what do you think the spin-off is going to be about? If you're a Vikings fan, what would you like to see this spin-off be, and what are you kind of expecting in it? So, anyways, guys, thank you for that one. And please share your thoughts if you're caught up with that one. And what do you think of other history shows, too? I know there's a lot, well, not a lot, but I know there's a few more out there that get quite a bit of attention. What was the one that was coming back this spring? I forget it off the top of my head now, but there's a pretty popular one that I heard a lot of people talking about last year that's coming back this spring as well, so with season 2. So, anyways. All right, so now we've reached the last topic here, which is the most anticipated TV shows coming in 2019. So, this is my list of my most anticipated, and I find this type of stuff, though, a little bit more difficult to do with TV shows than movies, right? Movies, it's like, okay, we know a lot of them, we know pretty much, I wouldn't say all, but we know a very, I would say, I think we know the majority of all the films coming out in 2019 right now, January 5th. We know the majority of all the films coming out, right? And with TV, I mean, a lot of these, release dates and stuff haven't even been released yet. I mean, we kind of have a rough idea, typically shows come back at the same time around every year. But, if you're in a Better Call Saul situation like this last recent season, it was like a year and a half between seasons, right? And so you don't know necessarily if it's going to be coming back in 2019 or not, which for Better Call Saul, it's probably not. So, I do find it a little bit difficult to track down when these dates are and whether they will be coming back in the year. So this list is compiled of ones I think that are safe to say that will return in 2019. And that's kind of how I picked this one. But anyways, so in no particular order, here are some of my most anticipated TV shows coming in 2019. All right, so first we have Billions, Season 4. Really looking forward to Season 4. The teaser that was released for it looks really great. Titled, You Gotta Pick Sides, right? Showtime has a great thing going with Billions. And they're, Axelrod and, wow, how am I blanking on his name right now? Axelrod and Chuck. Yeah. Axelrod and Chuck are, having to form an alliance against all these people that are out to get them for season 4, and that's kind of what the plot's shaping up like. I did a video breaking down the synopsis and the teaser that was released last week, but anyways, looks really great. So Billions season 4 definitely up there. Next, we have Ozark season 3. Season 2 for me took a little bit of a step down from season 1. I thought it was still good. I still enjoyed it, don't get me wrong. But I am still really looking forward to season 3. I'm just hoping that season 3 is more similar to season 1 rather than 2. I just feel like the kind of base, the kind of tone that they were on for season 1 was better than what they kind of came out with season 2. So we'll have to see how it is, but either way, I definitely am, anticipating Ozark season 3, and we'll have to see when it comes back, probably around July or August time again. This year, I believe, was August 31st, and then season 1 was July 25th. So we'll have to see when it's coming. But we do know it's coming, and we do know it's coming in 2019. So anyways, that one for sure. This one coming up very soon, I believe January 14th, is True Detective season. Or no, it's not the. Is it the 14th? What is it again? It might be the 14th. I don't know, but I thought it was coming back like it's this week. So it's not the 14th. It's, is it the 8th? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is it the 10th? I don't know. I'm just blanking. But anyways, coming in the next couple weeks here at least, is True Detective season 3. Mahershala Ali, in these trailers for it, he looks insane. I think he's going to be definitely a force with this one. He's probably going to win some awards, at least get nominated for some awards. This looks great. True Detective Season 3, of course, Season 2 got a lot of hate from a lot of fans. Season 1 was, of course, acclaimed. A lot of fans loved it, but Season 2 was kind of a drop-off, and so we'll have to see if Season 3 kind of renews what they were building there in Season 1 for this series on HBO, and honestly, I think it will. I think Mahershala Ali is good enough to lead a show, and I mean, he was great in Green Book just recently with Viggo Mortensen, that film, and coming back for True Detective Season 3 on TV. It's great. I remember Mahershala Ali, the first thing I saw him in was the 4400. And I think he was kind of, well, he wasn't just starting out, but that was one of his more bigger ones when he was, back in, when was that, 2005 or something, the 4400. So, yeah, I mean, that was great. And now he's coming on to True Detective. So, anyways, I'm looking forward to True Detective Season 3. I think it's going to be great. Next is The Righteous Gemstones. I just talked about this last week. We got a first look at it. Danny McBride's new HBO comedy with John Goodman and Adam Devine, and then also Eddie Patterson from Vice Principals coming back. And you know what? I mean, Eastbound and Down, I find hilarious. It's probably one of my favorite comedies I've seen. And Vice Principals, great, right? Walton Goggins and Danny McBride, such a great series there as well. Compared to, of course, I'm talking comedy-wise, it's great, right? It's not, compared to Better Call Saul or anything. But, yeah, no, it is a great comedy, and he is great at developing these stories and then playing the character to a T. I mean, Danny McBride is so great on screen, and he always kind of needs someone to bounce off of, right? Eastbound and Down. I'm forgetting his name right now, but a really great actor. He was so funny in that. He had to, kind of bounce off with him, and Kate Mixon as well. She was great in that. And then Vice Principals, of course, it's Walton Goggins, right? And so he always has to have kind of another screen presence to kind of bounce off of, and that's going to be John Goodman and Adam Devine in this one, which those are just two great names alone, just those two, and then to add Dan McBride. So he'll be, of course, involved in the writing as he was in Vice Principals and Eastbound and Down in this one. Man, I'm looking forward to it. I don't know when it's coming. I believe the production is happening right now because we just got a first look at some of the pictures and the production stuff. So we'll have to see when it comes out. I'm guessing maybe the summer this year. But either way, I'm really hyped for it. So yeah, really great to see. Next one is Castle Rock Season 2. The way that Castle Rock Season 1 ended, it was a bit of a surprise to me, Castle Rock, honestly. Probably gave me one of my best episodes of the year, which was The Queen, episode 7 of Season 1. That was just a trip, an hour-long episode, but it was insane. Anyways, Castle Rock Season 1, I felt like it was a bit surprising. I knew it was going to be good with Stephen King and all that, based on some of his characters and stories, but it was really great, especially the ending. So hopefully Season 2, we'll see more of that. So really excited for that one. And then I'm not sure if this is happening this year, because there's been a lot of, talk about it happening in the end of this year, but I haven't heard anything about production yet. So anyways, American Crime Story Season 3, if it happens this year, maybe my most anticipated, I believe this one's going to be about Hurricane Katrina. There's talk about doing the Melanie Lewinsky one with Bill Clinton. That was going to be Season 3, but I think they switched them now. Or it might be vice versa. But either way, both stories sound compelling. And Ryan Murphy, I mean, I trust him with anything right now. After O.J. Simpson, one of my favorite, series, Season 1 of American Crime Story ever. And then Season 2, I didn't like it as much, but of course I do recognize quality. And it was great. So Season 3, really look forward to. If it does happen this year, that will probably be my most anticipated. And the actors who are attached to it already are insane. Like, they're really, really great. I believe Sarah Paulson is coming back for Season 3, so really great stuff. Next is The Walking Dead. This one's a little bit difficult because we're going to have, like, 2 half seasons. We're going to have the end of Season 9 and then the start of Season 10 this year, but either way, I'm looking forward to both, and we'll have to see what happens with the Whisperers. Lastly is The 100 Season 6. Man, The 100 Season 5, especially the end of it, really brought the show back for me. Season 1 and Season 2, some of my favorite seasons of television I've seen. Season 3 and 4, I just felt like really fell off. especially season 4. But season 5 really brought it back for me. I really liked it, and the way it ended, I mean, kind of a soft reboot of the show at this point. Season 6, I'm really looking forward to what they do. The potential is through the roof for this season. So, you know, all the same characters coming back, but on a new world. So it's going to be crazy. The 100 Season 6 definitely on my list here. So anyways, with that, I'd love to hear your guys' most anticipated shows coming in 2019. I know, you know, some of these will be popular, but, you know, I bet you guys have a lot of other ones. Of course, Mandalorian's coming out, which is one of those other big ones. I can't think of it off the top of my head now. Wow, yeah, Deadwood, is that what it is? Deadwood, and of course Game of Thrones is on there too, not on my list, but anyways, some really great stuff coming in 2019 for sure. Alright, so yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on most anticipated TV shows coming in 2019. What does your list look like, or at least just give me, like, you know, your most anticipated. That'd be great. I'm also looking for a lot of new shows. I'll be doing a lot of reviews on my channel now coming in the next couple of months. And I'm looking for a lot of new shows, so if you have any, definitely open to suggestions there as well. So anyways, guys, that'll just about do it then for this episode of Let's Talk Television. Again, thank you for those of you who are joining live. Now, just to end things off, we'll go over my weekly notables, of course, and these are based on only TV shows that I saw this week. And again, I only saw one episode. I only saw one show this week, and it is Escape of Dannemora. So, you know, if those of you who have been watching this series for the last month, Escape of Dannemora has been kind of my favorite show on TV. One of my favorites of 2018, I have to be honest. So my notable episode this week is Escape of Dannemora. Technically episodes 7 and 8, but it was aired all in one. So, you know, part 7 and 8, the finale for it. And, man, you know what? Part 7, though, actually, I will say, it wasn't my favorite. I did enjoy it, and I thought it was definitely meaningful. It was, you know, it was necessary. But I think Part 8 really brought it home. And the way they ended this one off, Ben Stiller's direction in that final episode, through the roof. I mean, it was spectacular. So, Escape of Dannemora for sure, my notable episode. And to be honest, it was the only one I saw this week. So, there you go. Notable performance. I don't do this, but I got to give it to the entire cast of Escape of Dannemora. Even though, so let's go off the names. David Morse, even though he only had one scene in this finale, he was incredible throughout, so got to give it to him for that one. Eric Lang, amazing job in this finale. I feel like everyone's talking about the main performances, but Eric Lang, I mean, he's been in Narcos, now Narcos Mexico. He is great. I mean, he is great in this series, and to see the transformation he went through to play Lyle, you know, in this story is just incredible. So Eric Lang deserves a lot of credit. Then we get to Paul Dano. I mean, he was great. And again, I don't think he's going to get a lot of talk about him due to these next two that I'm going to talk about. But Paul Dano was amazing as well. I didn't know this, but he also writes and directs films as well. He's not just an actor. He wrote and directed Wildlife starring Jake Gyllenhaal. Still got to get around to watching that one, but he is, you know, he's a really talented guy. Next we have Benicio del Toro. I mean, I think he deserves an Emmy or at least a nomination here for his performance. I mean, he was just captivating. Every time he was on screen, he made his presence known, and playing such a character like that, where his presence means a lot, he did an amazing job. I think his best performance to date is this show. Benicio del Toro, amazing job. And then, of course, maybe the best is Patricia Arquette. She was incredible. She is nominated for the Golden Globe tomorrow night, so we'll have to see. I don't see her taking it home because I think Amy Adams is within that same category, and I don't know how anyone, no offense to Patricia Arquette, but I don't know how anyone would pick her over Amy Adams, seeing Amy Adams in Sharp Objects. Amy Adams probably gave the best performance of 2018 on TV. I mean, that's just what it is. But, well, maybe Darren Criss. Maybe. I think they're comparable. But anyways, that's just my opinion. But Patricia Arquette, I mean, amazing job in this series. Talk about transformation. She doesn't even look like the same person for this series. And she did an amazing job playing that character to a T. Really great. So, you know, she was probably the best out of this cast. But an amazing cast. These are just the main 5. Of course, there were a lot of other supporting guys and girls, you know, men and women, both in this series that were also really great. So really great stuff. And Ben Stiller deserves a lot of credit for his direction throughout this one. Anyways, if you haven't, seen Escape Danmore, really encourage you to. I did a little bit of a series review on my review channel there. If you want to go check that one out, you know, Chatterbox Reviews, of course. And Escape Danmore, I did a series review, wrapping up the series. It's already got, you know, a lot of interaction, you know, some likes and views, and people commenting, discussing. So if you want to go over there and, you know, watch that one, there are no spoilers until about, I would say, you know, 4 or 5 minutes in. And then I jump into spoilers. But anyways, that was just about doing then for Let's Talk Television episode 4, guys. Thank you so much for those of you tuned in. To the episode here, and of course those of you tuning in afterwards. If you made it this far, I don't know what you're doing. No, thank you though so much for those of you anyways. But that was about it. So Let's Talk Television. We come back next week then on Saturday. We'll see you guys next week then, talking about all the biggest news for next week. And I'm sure that we'll have a lot of news. I mean, now that the holidays are over, a lot of news coming out. A lot of these networks want to, you know, push out all these premiere dates and release dates and all this stuff for their shows coming in the next few months. And there's a lot of new ones coming out in the next few months that are going to be pretty good. So anyways, guys, again, thank you so much for watching this one. Please share your thoughts on some of this stuff. And yeah, that was about it. So we'll see you guys next week. Thanks, guys. See you later.